This silver monkey with an orange nose with a love of toothpaste was one of the most meaningful things to happen to me from the age of about 25. Firstly, with its intense use of odd socks and unusual dark humour, and secondly, its often icy silence defined its conscious interaction with the world as a standpoint in a state of ripe intoxication. This remarkable trembling started between its livid personality, with all its powers of intuitive comprehension, with a gift for impersonations, and a remarkable understanding of conjuring tricks without legs, with bouts of intense wind. We worked together for over 10 years in a shed, surrounded by pocket-sized mice and deep forestry. I've never experienced such a phenomenon before. My life as a revered, meaningful pop star took a back seat for a long time. Moving forward with real thoughts and projecting whatever you want in the space ahead became the main objective. A monkey, yes, a silver monkey, that's right. A lot of my close friends thought our relationship was a little morbid and a tad strange, to say the very least. However, we finally escaped the grip of Liverpool and arrived in New York 10 days later on Christmas Day. Throughout our journey, I entertained my silver monkey with bouts of sharp acerbic wit and lashings of daft poetry about an elephant with special needs and nonsense stuff like that, you know. I said a monkey, a little silver monkey, a little monkey, yes, that's right. Yoko and my little silver monkey hit it off straight away, and soon afterwards we all moved into a hotel with a swimming pool. I also have this fond memory of it eating all this bread I'd spent weeks manipulating, made from chestnuts and mashed potato. It still lingers in my imagination to this very day. Although Yoko didn't take too kindly to all the toothpaste stains in our bed. At weekends we often visited these hilltops in California and played crazy golf. Sometimes we pretended to be Lauren and Hardy with foreign accents and gorge ourselves senseless on toffee apples. Occasionally, it would sneak up on Yoko and squeeze her Stanley Morgans. She didn't like it particularly, but it always made me laugh. I mean, really laugh. The tears would roll down my face like there was no tomorrow. It was really, really funny. Do you know what I mean? It was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. In my whole damn life. It was wonderful. All the members of my band started using this large gauntlet to beat each other round the head with. The bass player told me, straight to my face, that he blamed the beatings on the relationship I had with this monkey of mine. The new album was never released. However, once all the laughter had stopped, confusion suddenly set in, and a doctor had to be called out to help resuscitate the drummer. The monkey was the furthest removed from normality and convention of them all. I think Ringo was a little jealous. At first there were no inhibitions, either in my private or public life, but the bacon must go to this little silver monkey of mine, who lives on a steady diet of fluoridated toothpaste. Years of this senseless abuse was beginning to take its toll on the little fella, although, I must admit, his inexhaustible energy was a joy to watch. It was one night at Studio 54 when the pop artist Andy Warhol was taking pictures of all the guests. Suddenly, my little silver monkey friend with its orange nose and toothpaste fetish decided to swipe the camera from Andy's hands and attempt to shove it down the front of his trousers. I didn't know where to look. It wasn't until the management of the club threw me and my monkey out on the street that any chance of a portrait for Mr. Warhol was probably out of the question. I think Miles Davis was there as well. Not long afterwards, I began my Lost Weekend stint. Yoko was out of town at the time working on a project with the avant-garde composer John Cage, so I decided to ask a few friends over for a party and write a couple of pop songs for Frank Sinatra. Meanwhile, the abolition of all the contents of my bathroom were reduced to a pile of non-recognisable objects. I can only put it down to my silver monkey friend taking too much acid, that a member of the Grateful Dead must have left behind after the party. He looked a bit like a rabid fascist. The provocative side of his nature never ceased to amuse me, never. My monkey often waved at old ladies and pulled faces at complete strangers. It was left to me to follow the principle of chance to its logical or illogical conclusion in the mind of this silver nihilistic monkey. I ordered a Chinese takeaway, shaved my chest, composed a fantastic pop tune with 15 chord inversions, then went to bed with a bad book. Yoko loved these miniature doves stuck to our ceiling. They were carefully arranged to look like anti-art, but they eventually fell off after about 2 days. For my part, I remember that I developed a preference for all things white. I decided to detune this ukulele that once belonged to Tiny Tim. I wrote and dedicated a 10-minute song to this lovable silver monkey of mine, calling it, "All toothpaste is white, but some have red stripes running through it." This was of course a naive enterprise on my part, but I didn't care. I adored this monkey. In order to unravel the tangle of confusion and misunderstanding that constitutes the present-day image of John Lennon, I needed to pose a series of internal questions. In the end, I decided the answers were unlikely to satisfy myself or the media. I decided to bake some bread instead and watch my silver monkey friend with an orange nose chase our neighbour's cat up a tree. I said to George, "You gotta meet this little silver monkey of mine." I told him to come over and bring the missus and the family. We could have a great time partying, going bowling, baking bread and stuff like that. I faxed Paul about it, but he hasn't got back to me as yet. It's early days, I guess, you know what I mean? He's a silver monkey man, with an orange nose man, eats a lot of toothpaste man, and farts a lot. I remember when the Hamptons used to complain about the flatulent smells coming from our backyard. They lived about a mile away, but the smell always seemed to disrupt their barbecue evenings. They hated my monkey. But in 1976, when the power of the faith began to wane, my little silver monkey friend with the orange nose and unabashed love of toothpaste and mischief decided to rearrange our relationship. The result was explosive, both in style and content. I'd never seen the abuse of so much toothpaste before. It blew my mind games. Its head became twice the size of its body, and its tongue disappeared for over a month. Several months later, it jumped into our friend's fish pond and vanished. From that very moment, I haven't seen my silver monkey friend with its orange nose and love of toothpaste. It's certainly not easy being a major celebrity these days, I grant you that. But life without my silver monkey friend can be utterly unbearable at times. Where are you, my little fella? I keep asking myself. I miss my lovable silver monkey with its orange nose, bad breath and intense bouts of flatulence and spitting. I want him back, now.